The reason I was confident, Jack, was I thought this was a good matchup for the Titans, and it proved to be a good matchup because the Patriots are just lacking weapons on the outside. The Ravens, not quite lacking in the weapons department, led by Lamar Jackson. I mean, their numbers are ridiculous. Mike Vrabel almost chuckled to himself when we talked about it today. They have outrushed their nearest competitor by 60 yards a game. They've averaged 206 yards rushing a game this season. There are 8 teams that haven't passed for that a game this year. It's the most dynamic rush attack and one of the most dynamic offenses we've ever seen. I think the Titans are going to struggle to slow this group down, and their offense is going to have a much bigger day than it did in New England to beat this Baltimore team. Obviously, Derrick Henry did his part. Ryan Tannehill has to have a much bigger game for the Titans to have a chance to win this one.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, the likely MVP in this league. Can Tennessee keep him in check, and what did Vrabel have to say about this challenge?
Well, has anybody kept him in check? I mean,
No.
He did what I didn't think anybody could do, and that's have a quarterback rush for 1,200 yards and survive the season. But I talked with Kenny Vaccaro, the Titans safety, today, and he talked about Michael Vick's ability to run the football, but all of his rushes were scrambles, basically. The Ravens set up runs for the quarterback. The Ravens pull linemen to set things up for the quarterback. And when the quarterback runs the ball, it gives you an extra blocker, making him even tougher to stop. Mike Vrabel called it interesting. He called it challenging. And the big word that kept coming out was discipline, and having to stay disciplined against this rushing attack, because the moment you lose containment or the moment you try to do too much, they catch you somewhere else. And so the Titans are going to have to be disciplined. They're going to have to rally to the football. They're going to have to try to contain him. And by contain him, I don't mean contain his output. You've got to limit his space, because when Lamar Jackson gets an open space, he's got you at your mercy. So it is easily the most difficult challenge they faced all year, and they all acknowledge that. They're all excited about it. They're all excited to be on to round 2. But everybody sees what everybody else sees on tape, and it's ridiculous at this point.
All right, you touched on it a little bit, Corey. All the talk about the Vikings winning was Kirk Cousins finally won a big game. I don't hear that same conversation with Ryan Tannehill after the Patriots win. Does he just have to manage this game and give it to Derrick Henry, or does he have to play the game of his life for this team to have a shot?
Well, Jack, I think he's got to throw the ball. I mean, obviously 8 for 15 for 72 yards isn't going to get it done in this game. I think they need to score at a minimum of 28 points to win, and I don't think Derrick Henry can do it by himself against this defense. Look, I've told everybody, if Marcus Mariota had produced those numbers in that game, they would have crucified him here. They would have absolutely gone after him. But Ryan Tannehill has had a really nice run, but that was certainly not his best game. Now, not entirely his fault, because they handed it to Derrick Henry, I think, 34 times. And they kind of got the lead and then kind of hid the quarterback a little bit, which I don't quite understand, because he's had a nice year. They can't hide him. They can't hide him. Look, this Ravens secondary is loaded. Marlon Humphreys is a first-round pick. Marcus Peters is a Pro Bowler and a first-round pick. Earl Thomas is a first-round pick who's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. That secondary is loaded. Having said that, they can't simply hand it off to Derrick Henry and hope to win this football game. They need to take shots down the field. The Ravens will bring all those guys up into a zero coverage, and by that it means they've got nobody deep. Okay? They are challenging you to get rid of the football before they get to you. Ryan Tannehill's got to see it. He's got to get it up, and A.J. Brown and Corey Davis have got to make plays. If they're going to win this game, they've got to beat the Ravens at their game, and that means creating some big play opportunities, and number 17 has to get it done.
So they obviously received a spark when Tannehill took over as quarterback, and they got some confidence. But do they have that level of confidence in him in this moment for this game?
Well, that's a good question, Jack, and I think we're going to see it because, like I said, they can't hide him in this football game. He has to be front and center. He has to make plays in this football game. Now, they are a confident team, and they do believe in their quarterback. And I think one of the things they've got going for them is they've been playing playoff caliber games here for a couple of months after starting 2-4, where the Ravens haven't played meaningful football in about 3 weeks. We'll see if Tannehill can lead them to a quick start in this football game, because he has to. They can't play from behind. Jack, last year, the Baltimore Ravens came to Nashville, and I don't expect you to know what happened, but everybody in Nashville knows what happened. It was a horrible day. They fell behind in the first half 14-0, and Marcus Mariota got sacked 11 times. That's what happens when you play the Ravens. When you fall behind, they absolutely suffocate you, and they cannot fall behind this team this week.